This is rare. This is rare. Everybody's usually there, like, it's way down here. And I'm like,
Well, I also lifted the chair up because because my long legs, if I
right.
sink back into a chair, it feels like I'm sitting in a beanbag.
Oh
So
no, I can relate to that. Trust me. It's usually like I have to work so hard to make myself and the other person look the same size on the camera, right?
yeah,
Because that's like what visually is the most appealing. So like it'd be super zoomed in on that side and super zoomed out on me. And now we're the same size. So
yeah.
like actually those pictures behind you look the same size as the pictures on the wall behind me. So it's cool. But this is Burn the Ship. I appreciate you coming out. Our goal here is to connect entrepreneurs or professionals that know what it's like to go all in on your business. We're hoping to teach those entrepreneurs, which are you guys listening, a little bit about what it's like for the first time to wear that business owner cap and the strengths and skills that you need to make your business successful. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your business, my friend?
Yeah, my name is Robert Lee. I own the Lesix family of companies, which is a series of marketing and advertising and consulting companies in Marietta. And basically, our mission is to help double the size of any small business. And we do that by helping people tell their story better and connecting and developing better human relationships with their customers.
Absolutely.
So,
We've gone through, so like what you know about marketing, right? I know a tenth of that, and it's only because I have learned through failure specifically, right? Honestly, our industry and B2B industries in general are difficult to market arbitrarily, right? It's hard to lay out your main it's hard to lay your main product out there and get people to flock to you. You know, a B2B business is not if you build it, they will come. It is a continuous marketing effort and a concerted effort to have people discussing the value that your company brings to your prospective clients out in the world. And you know, the listeners know this because we've talked about it super openly. The podcast has kind of been the Band-Aid for that for us.
Sure.
Right? So like to paint a picture for you during COVID, we love to network. I just left a huge networking event out in Rome of like 50 something business owners. And it was a lot of fun, right? And it's exciting to be in that room, and it's exciting to see growing businesses near you, and it really kind of gives you that mentorship that you need, or some prospective clients if you need. You know, there's nothing bad about being in those rooms. And when COVID happened, we kind of lost the ability to do that in the way that we were traditionally doing it. So we were virtually networking, right? And so the good side of virtually networking, right, is if I use every hour on the Eastern time zone during a regular 9 to 5 business day and network, you know, an hour at a time for 8 hours, I can meet something like 200 people. And then I can go look for virtual networking opportunities in California and network the whole entire afternoon on Pacific time and network for 11 or 12 hours a day. And I can meet something like 300 people in one day. But I can't tell you maybe 4 of their names at the end of the day.
Sure.
Just because of sheer human lack of brain power, right? I don't think anybody is that receptive and that good with faces and names and remembering what people do. And when you do that at a large scale, it's really, really hard, right? And as we know about businesses, follow-up is everything. Connecting with those people and real relationships and interacting is everything. And we didn't get that out of virtual networking. It created some opportunities, but the clients that we did get, you know, we were closing felt like more deals than ever, but the clients we did get was, you know, hard to get out of underwriting, or their business was in a weird place, you know, and really they're signing up with you off the fact that you're excited to do business in general, more so than what your value is, right? Because we were putting so much effort into that virtual networking environment, people wanted to be near us. And so the podcast was...
Well, and I think that's one of the things about marketing that so many people don't understand, is that it's nothing more than a human to human relationship building process.
Yeah, it truly is.
That's all it is. And so many people think marketing is just getting my name out there,
Right.
just showing up at events and just handing out business cards or sending mail pieces or running a bunch of digital ads. But at the end of the day, marketing is nothing more than telling your story and helping people see how you solve their problems.
Exactly.
So it isn't even the product that you offer. When you say people were just so excited to do business with you, think about why that was the case. Because they were locked in their house. They didn't know what the world was going to do.
Right.
It was so much uncertainty. somebody that provided them some level of certainty with their business, they immediately jumped on.
Absolutely.
I mean, for us, we've had a mail company for a long time, and we bought our mail company that had been in operations for about 30 years before that, 35 years. So they had a longevity of service to their customers and to customers that were coming in. But I bought 18 months before COVID. We got through the busy election mail season, and we went into 2019, and things were slower. And at that point, I said, well, we need to do a better job of connecting. And I didn't necessarily know how to go about it. I knew some about digital advertising, but I really dove in.
Right.
And that is when I started to see the commonalities between all of these forms of marketing and what good marketing is and what bad marketing is.
Right.
And bad marketing is just trying to sell people something. Good marketing is building a relationship. So the fact that y'all understood that.
Right. And we didn't at first, right? Because the money was in the follow-up to us. You know, we were the people that would buy a booth at your networking event to sponsor ourselves, right? And we would collect business cards and all of those things. We didn't even understand that we were doing the relationship building part intentionally in the follow-up process until really COVID, because it was just us being ourselves. You know, it was like, I hope I can find you a referral or somebody that's value to you in your network and can bring you some business, and I hope that I can save you some money on your credit card processing, right? But during COVID, the podcast made that so clear, because I could meet you at a virtual networking group at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I could go the entire day and you not remember me and me not remember much about you, but I look at my list at the end of the day and I say, hey, this guy takes credit cards, works with a bunch of small businesses just like me, and I know XYZ people in my network that would be valuable for him to connect to, right? And so instead of, let me have a Zoom call with you or one-to-one and let's figure out each other's selling opportunities and see if each other gives us buying signs, like, we don't have the relationship for that. So the podcast was that. The podcast was, come talk to me and tell me everything in 30 minutes and make me understand it. And I'm going to tell you about me in 30 minutes as well. And then we're going to have that relationship, and we're going to see how deep that we're willing to, you know, pull energy out of ourselves to work for each other, right? The podcast was money for that.
And it is absolutely brilliant for that very reason. And so in the last couple of years, we've qualified as digital marketer certified partners, and Digital Marketer is a company out of Austin, Texas, that basically is a think tank for marketers, for lack of better word.
Saw that. I saw it on your website as I was trying my best to do my homework. And I saw that, and I started doing the research about that. And that is it's so cool, actually.
Yeah. So they don't service clients like us.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
But since we've become a certified partner, we've become part of this community of marketers, of people that help tell stories. Right. And help build relationships. And one of the greatest things about becoming a CP is that we finally had that framework for how to tell people's stories better than they have in the past, and that's called the customer value journey. Now, if you've ever read this book, and most people haven't, but it's a book called Human Intimacy. I believe it's called Human Intimacy by Desmond Morris, and he goes through and talks about the fact that there are 12 stages of human intimacy. And you can't skip a stage. You have to let the stage naturally lead into the next one. And every relationship is different. Some of them go through those stages faster than others, but it starts from the moment that you just see somebody across the room to the point where you start talking about growing old together is essentially it. And so when I'm in meetings with potential clients and I'm explaining this, I actually like to use my story pretty well. Because I met my wife on Match.com.
Nice.
And I like to give her crap about the fact that she's the one that nudged me and not the other way around, right? So she was chasing me. It feels kind of good. But we went through those stages where we became aware of.
Had you read the book already?
No.
Oh, you hadn't at this point.
It's all stuff.
So once you read it, you were like reflective on the.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. So, you know, she nudged me and I responded back to her and kind of nudged her back, right? That's our awareness moment. And then we started to talk, and then we started to exchange messages, and then we exchanged phone numbers, and then we went on that first coffee date, and we both said, yeah, we'd like to have a real date. So we went out to a nice dinner, and then more and more dinners, and then concert festivals and trips to meet family and all of these things that eventually got us to the point where we bought a home, got engaged, got married, had 2 children that are absolute terrorists, and
How old?
2 and 4.
I have two myself. I have a 6 and 2 month old.
Yeah, so our 4-year-old is the sweetest child on the planet, just like her mother. And our 2-year-old is a lot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she's just like me when I was that age. And just like every relationship, we go through those challenges, and it's a perfect allegory for the same relationship you develop with your customers.
Sure.
So when you do what you do with the podcast, you're offering somebody an opportunity to see the best thing about you, because you're not sitting there selling them to make money off of them, right? You're giving. Just like in a relationship, it's give and take. And so when we explain marketing as a process of building a relationship with somebody, every client of ours that sees that and understands that, or at least sees that it is a better way of doing it, even if they don't fully understand, they go all in.
Right.
And they end up improving their marketing astronomically. They end up spending less money to make more money, and that's a win for everybody,
Sure.
right? And then we have happy clients that continue to pay us. You have happy clients that continue to pay you. And more importantly than that, we're not stressed with having to find a solution to a problem that we don't even know how to ask the right question about.
Right.
So it's the greatest thing about being
Sure.
part of that digital marketer family.
Oh,
We have
yeah,
a lot
for
of
sure.
people that help us, and then we're able to go out and help a lot of people in the process.
And I think it's really cool too, because what I think is really, really cool is that never in that conversation is like you being or representing something different than what you are. You know what I mean?
That's it.
I'm sure everyone has went through that experience of like seeing an ad or trying to do business with a company or something that you want like this. I will never forget specifically. I bought some glasses, like blue light computer glasses, right? But I bought like quality ones that I wanted with a warranty on them and everything else, right? And so I had the first pair, I broke them somehow, being myself, and I reached out for the warranty and said, "Hey, can you send me a new pair? I'll pay whatever the replacement is," right? And so as they sent me a new pair, they said, "Send the old pair back, and you have to pay for the new pair, right? The replacement for the new pair." And I was like, okay. So they sent me in the box, and they said, put the old one in the box and send it back, right? And when they sent me the new pair was broken, right? Not their fault. Manufacturing or postal completely, I'm sure, is at fault there. But by the third time they had tried to send me glasses and make me pay for the shipping again, and the warranty replacement costs, like I was approaching the cost of a brand new pair of glasses, right?
Yeah.
And so that what I think is so cool is that when people are figuring out their marketing and they're discussing what that customer value journey is for their company, never in the conversation is represent yourself in a way that you are not. You know,
Absolutely.
it's give and provide value until you have that loyal customer base that is willing to share your business for you and help you, provide for your business, right?
That's it.
Because there's a lot of consumer brands out there and these hyper growth companies specifically that don't live in that world. You know what I mean? They don't abide by those rules. So I was hoping, because we always talk about strengths, like what you do well in your business. I wanted to discuss that customer value journey and kind of let people behind the curtain and see what it is, and maybe some examples of people, of bad marketing to that light switch moment of like, this is how I should be taking the left road instead of the road on the right. And then what those, what the outcome of that is, and really the thought process behind what that customer journey is as well.
Sure. So the customer value journey, going back to that allegory of human intimacy, is essentially 8 stages that somebody goes through from the moment that they don't know who your company is to the moment where they become stark, raving, lunatic fans.
Right.
And they're essentially an extension of your marketing arm because they're giving you references. The first stage, awareness, is where they see an ad for the first time, or that you hit them up on LinkedIn with a message saying, "Hey, we've got this podcast, might be of interest to you." That's your awareness stage. That's the moment where somebody on Match.com hits, yeah, I like this profile. You become aware they exist. Then you talk about the engagement part, and that's the part where people start to do their research. That's the Facebook stalking stage, right? They go to your website, they ask questions like, well, what does that mean? Maybe read a blog post or two. Just kind of know that you're legit, and they want to learn, right? It isn't necessarily I'm going to do business with you, but I want to know who you are. I want to know what you do. The third stage is the subscription stage, and that's essentially where you exchange phone numbers and you say, hey, let's get off the DMs and shoot me a text. And usually that means that you can get them to sign up for some sort of gated content or an ebook or a checklist or access to a Facebook group or something like that. The conversion stage is a small commitment of time or money. So usually that means like a 30-minute meeting, 15-minute meeting, whatever it might be, right? Something they have to give something back to you as a customer that doesn't break their wallet or break their calendar for the day. So in y'all's particular case, come on to our studio for a podcast and we'll do a 30-minute podcast. This is your conversion opportunity. I've dedicated some time to you. And then you, in turn, give them something of value. So in my case, I'm giving you time and you're giving me an opportunity to market and showcase what we do. The next stage is the aha moment, the excite stage. It's where people see the value of what you do and say, I need to have more from them. I need to get something. And there are all kinds of examples of this. If you've ever drove a Tesla, there's a moment they call the launch. And that's the moment where the salesman puts the pedal to the metal and you're floored back in your seat. Because they want you to see that you have this luxury vehicle, which you get in, it's nice, but you can get in a luxury vehicle anywhere. It's electric, so it's environmentally friendly, but you can get an electric vehicle from just about any company these days. What they want to show you is that car has some balls behind it. So you're buying luxury, you're buying electric, you can do that anywhere, but you cannot be pushed back into your seat the same way.
By a Nissan Leaf.
Yeah. Or a Rivian or a Ford or whatever it is, right? They call that the launch because that's their aha moment. That's the moment where you say, I need a damn Tesla. Right now. I need this. And you spend a ridiculous amount of money on a Tesla, not because it's got that computer, that 32-inch flat screen television, not because it's got those nice doors. It's because that car puts you in your place. And you can't wait to show that off for everybody else. Then the next stage is your ascension model. That's where you sell your core offer and you sell upsells along the way. Continue to sell to them, maybe sell new product lines, whatever that might be. Then you have your advocacy stage. This is where people start to say the good things about you with a Google review or a video testimonial. And then the promotion stage. And that's where they become extensions of your marketing arm. That's a quick 2-minute overview of the customer value journey. But optimizing each stage makes your marketing better. But it also makes your company better because you start to align what you market with what you do. And you start to understand that what you do is not sell a product. It's to provide solutions so somebody has a better day tomorrow than they have today. I mean, that's as simple as it gets right there. So
Sure. And tell me like some of those examples, like put it into, and an example for us is really, really good, but like, what is someone, if someone comes into you with XYZ company and says, here's what I'm experiencing, here's what I want to experience, what do you guys kind of walk them through? Like, how do you kind of coach them into that mindset?
So if they, let's walk somebody through on the mail side, right? We'll run some ads on Facebook or send out a direct mail piece that says, hey, we're Atlanta Business Circulators, and this is who we are. They receive that postcard for the first time in their mailbox and look at it. We'll obviously have links to our website. We'll have maybe a QR code that links to a website or a landing page of some sort. We give them a way to engage, but we also tell them the call to action is pretty clear. Schedule your free mail piece design today. And we make it pretty obvious to them. We'll give you a free mail piece. We'll design it. You're going to pay some designer a couple of $100 to tell you how your vision is bad. But because we're a certified partner, we're going to design you a mail piece that's going to put somebody on to the customer value journey that you need. And we say, if you want your free mail piece, schedule here, scan it with your phone, enter the code on your mail piece, pick a time, rock and roll from there. And then once we go through the process of designing that mail piece and getting them to say that's absolutely beautiful, that's our aha moment. When they look at it and say, I could not have done that myself, and I don't even know that I would have asked a designer to do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the natural point for us to say, well, since you're you're designing a mail piece for a reason, the next natural step is to send this thing out. We're a full service marketing agency, but not only that, we're a full service direct mail provider for the United States Postal Service. We'll take care of it for you here. You want us to print this thing and get it out the door? Here's an estimate. Then we sell them a mail piece. Then we continue to follow up with them and sell them other marketing platforms that we have. Over the course of the time, we build a relationship with them. They leave a review, and they
refer their
They
neighbor.
refer their neighbors. And I'll tell you that our struggles in the mail business are at the engagement stage and at the advocacy stage. We need to do better at getting reviews for our service, and we need to provide people more content. And so those are the stages in our customer value journey that we're optimizing right now.
Right.
So,
And so, with the skills that you have in your business and where you're kind of, say optimizing those sectors, right? What is the next step for you guys? Are you guys growing into adding more platforms, more weapons in the marketing arsenal, or what is kind of that next step for you?
I mean, that next step is to connect the print and the digital side. Because again, as digital marketer certified partners, we can do this for Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, TikTok ads, things like that. But the real value for a lot of people is understanding that you don't need to go all in on one. It's tying the two together. So once we have a better job of getting testimonials from our customers and giving them more content to engage with, the next stage that we optimize is the ascension stage, where we start to connect all of those pieces.
Yeah.
And
Continue
we have
to add those opportunities to upsell and sell auxiliary products along the
exactly
in the conversion
and
process.
one example of that is we have our own CRM platform called Lesix Pro. And basically that connects everything, right? It connects mail to the digital. It's something that you can run a business from your phone, handle all of your outbound marketing. It's a tremendous platform. So the next stage for us is to get more of our clients on that. And then once we get them on that, we'll kind of refocus our strategic objectives.
Sure.
And see what the next steps are after that. So
When you first put that business hat on, what did you do before you bought this company?
yeah, so I was an arrogant, condescending political consultant.
Nice.
Yeah, so
nice.
and I still do some of that on the side. That business has very gradually grown over the 15 to 20 years that I've had it. And it got to the point where I was in a position to buy out one of my vendors, which was the mail house, and then from there we've continued to expand.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's been fits and starts here and there, but as I bought the mail house, I started to understand that politics is marketing, right? You're building relationships with people. You want that relationship to be as simple and as valuable as it possibly can. You're trying to make people's lives better, or at least the clients I was working with, I believe we're trying to make people's lives better.
Yeah.
Same thing with marketing. It's the same thing that small businesses do for their customers. So it just seemed like a natural progression to start taking these steps over the last couple of years.
Sure.
And I can tell you it's been fits and starts, and we experienced COVID just like everybody else did. And
would you say that was my next question, is kind of what's been the most difficult thing? Because I think for a lot of companies, learning what you know about the process of putting someone on that customer value journey and then converting them into all the way to the advocacy stage, that is a huge learning process for most business owners. And then applying that to your industry is even, you have to have a certain amount of industry knowledge to know what that value and what the problem that you're solving for your customers are, for the most part. What would you say was the most difficult part for you as you were kind of learning to wear that business hat? And business skills may not be the answer. Sometimes it's accounting or, all of these things that you just don't realize when you're rendering your service as a business that you don't know that's kind of your responsibility? What would you say to that?
The aligning what my employees expect with what the company needs to do.
Sure.
So when I bought the mail business, the owners of the company ran a successful business. There's no question about that, but it wasn't growing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I don't know that I necessarily understood to what degree they refused to engage in growth. I know they mentioned it, like they were happy where they were at, but no sales process. The staff was not interested or even oriented towards growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so they worked extremely inefficiently for what a growing company needs. They were efficient for what they wanted, to be stagnant and where they're at
Yeah.
comfortably.
Yeah. Got where they were and started trimming fat as
Yeah.
much as possible.
But
Marketing company cutting their own marketing
yeah,
dollars. Yeah.
well, and they had zero marketing dollars.
Yeah.
That was the ironic thing about this. So it took some time to get staff in there that shared that vision, to eventually transition out staff that didn't want to be there or didn't share that vision, and it cost me a ton of money
Yeah.
to get through that. But I can tell you this, that the
Employee overhaul, whether it be changing the employees or changing the employee's mind, is
Yeah.
usually pretty expensive.
It's expensive, it's hard, but I can tell you this, that the staff I have there, it's smaller than the staff that we inherited, but they do probably twice as much work with half the stress. And it's because we have gone through this process of understanding our value journey a lot better, or our customers' value journey a lot better, and then aligning our operations. So as a result, we've been able to charge more money. And we've had a couple of instances where people said your prices are too expensive. And my response to them was like, is price all you're concerned about? Yes. I said, okay, well, your mail is going to suffer as a result.
Yeah.
And about 2 or 3 of those customers have come back to us
Mhm.
because they have said, you were right.
Because the cheaper product is more expensive.
Because the cheaper product didn't sell,
Yeah.
didn't communicate what they wanted to communicate, and as a result didn't perform. So yes, therefore it became more expensive. And so we've been able to kind of survive against bigger competitors and charge more money to them by understanding our customer value journey a lot better. And our staff is operating in that regard.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
The employee world is a completely different world. I've learned that myself with like people that are buying businesses or people that are opening a new leg of business, people that are opening another location. Especially in 2023, it is a difficult world with employees right now. Finding people and then finding a way to incentivize people to realize the opportunity that they have to, participate in the growth of a business is just super difficult.
Or just be happy. I mean, one example that just happened in the last couple of weeks is about this time we do a big job every year. And that big job, it's not a complicated job, but it does have some steps. Well, I had an employee come to me and say, have you thought about a piece of equipment like this? Said, no, let me take a look at it. Well, the piece of equipment she showed me was way too expensive, but I found an alternative that was like $1,500. So I bought 2 of them, and we've already produced with 2 people what we normally produce with 10.
Yeah.
Right. And so just going up to her and saying that was the best idea I've heard since I bought this place.
Yeah.
Please continue to come up with those ideas. I mean, at that point, she felt like, I could see
It's a valuable part of the team.
She's a valuable part of the team. And she and her sister works at the company. We could not run that facility without them. And just telling people how important they are and how happy they make you because you're able to do what you want to do as a business owner shows them in this day and age that, you could probably go find a job that makes you a lot more money, getting yelled at by a guy that makes you a lot less happy.
Yeah. Shirley, I've never thanked you enough for switching those cameras over there, by the way. Well, I appreciate the information. I think we've given people a lot to chew on. Always with Burn the Ship, our goal is to connect professionals with business owners, right? People that have walked the walk with people that are admiring the pavement, deciding which direction they want to go. Tell me a little bit about the emotions of going all in on your business, right? What is that moment like? What does it feel like, and why should other people kind of seek that same
So
thing out?
for me, that moment, I mean, I'm just kind of a gunslinger, risk taker anyway.
Mhm.
So for me, it was just like, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here. I think for my wife, who's a lot more organized and structured, she worries about it a lot more. So when I went in to just buying this business and then buying a couple of other mail houses and folding them in and forming this digital agency and investing a lot of time and money in that, for me, it just seems natural,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's just like you cannot just do what you always do. But that's my personality type. For me, the biggest struggle is always remembering that people don't have the same objectives that I do, but
Right.
people that I care about. Again, I go back to my wife and my girls. All my girls want to know is that dad's home,
Mhm.
that dad gets to do things with them because of their age. And I think for my wife, it's knowing that um, I'm happy and progressing, but also secure,
Right.
so that I can continue to be a provider at some level to our family. Not that my wife needs me, right? I'm
Mhm.
not saying that, but that we're equal contributors to the family in some sort of way. That's the hardest thing because for me, I could look at that trash can right there and say, how are 6 different ways we can make that thing more useful
Mhm.
inside of is that the right place for it? Whereas my other people around me, my wife especially, would say that's where the trash can goes. Don't and move it,
Mhm.
right? That's just that mindset is neither one is right, neither one is wrong. Everybody has different personality types. That's the real struggle as a business owner is, and that's the thing I have the biggest trouble with. Because I'm the personality type that likes to debate, likes to discuss. There is never a right answer. There's just a better answer.
Mhm.
And that frustrates a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
it frustrates customers. It frustrates employees at times. It frustrates myself when I recognize I haven't stopped to just kind of smell the roses a little bit. Definitely frustrates my wife and my
Yeah.
girls, right? But that's the biggest thing is that every business owner, look, your business can fail, it can succeed, doesn't matter. Are you going to show the people around you that you are there for them as much as they are for you? And that's the thing I struggle with. There's one gentleman, and I know we're probably bumping up on time, but there's one gentleman I met a couple of months ago at a conference in Dallas, and his name is Rob Bailey, and he's this brilliant marketer. And so I got connected to him on Facebook and continued to interact with him, and he put something on Facebook that just hit me extremely just in the right spot. He said, everybody here flexing about their business. My biggest flex is my family.
Mhm.
And I'm like, damn straight. And all that guy loves talking about is how much time he gets to spend with his wife and his boys. And I mean, that's it, man. That's the dream right there. And and it just, God, it just hit me so well. And it just hit me so hard. And it was, I mean, what's the date now? Beginning of May. 2.5 months ago, my dad passed away. It's been just gut wrenching. Um, but I took my wife and my girls to meet my grandmother in Arizona, and then we flew to Disney. And I thought this is my flex moment. And so I tagged Rob and I said, look, Rob said this, so I'm flexing like a mofo all week at Disney. And it felt so good to do that. That's what being a business owner should be about. You can make all the money in the world. You can have power over people, all that you want. But are you really happy? I mean, I get to share this amazing life with an amazing woman and 2 amazing girls and amazing friends that I have better relationships with. Every struggle of being a business owner, as long as you keep a vision for that, you'll get through your challenges. I mean, it's the honest to God truth. No matter what moment of self doubt you have, just keep on reminding yourself that you will be unhappy if you quit, because you will be unable to share something amazing with other people. So it's an awesome feeling.
That is brilliant.
Well, thank you.
I don't think there's anything else to say beyond that.
Well, I appreciate it,
I
man.
can't wait to share just that portion in itself with the world, my friend.
Well, thank you. I
I'm
appreciate
interested.
that.
I appreciate you coming
Absolutely.
out, man.
Absolutely.
It has been such a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, well, we'll talk some more with the owner of my company and figure out how we can work together, make sure we can deliver some value to you guys as well.
Absolutely.
I'm going to edit as many of those podcasts I can for the next hour and a half that I'm here, but I might not get to this one. But by the end of the week, I'll have myself caught up from the from the repertoire of podcasts that we have recorded.
As it turns out, this internet fad has some staying power to it.
Yeah.
So if it's this week, next week, man, it's on your schedule. You're doing me a favor, so I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you, my friend. Until next time, we'll definitely have you back.
Absolutely. Thank you.